Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror film reviews, ratings, rankings, and rumors. Now for your hosts, Danny, Joel, and Katrina.
Yeah, this is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I'm here with Kane, Katrina, and Judas, Joel.
Oh, wow.
Hey guys, what's up?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I'm
a good
Judas.
one.
All right.
Yeah. Could have went with like Jeremiah or something like that, but
No, but Judas.
There's also Joel in the Bible. Too.
There is
That's
Joel.
true.
Joel.
That's true.
No, but Judas is the
Yeah.
one to do.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So we're talking about biblical stuff because this movie we're going to review
Daniel.
today. Yes, Daniel's in there as well.
Um,
Is The Pope's Exorcist from 2023.
oh,
Joel.
man. Yes.
Who's a
Who's
part
in
of
it?
All right. So this one stars Russell Crowe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ka!
Yeah, crazy. He's in this movie.
That was a crow.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
funny, bro.
He was in.
Okay,
was
we're
in
having
the
too much
nice-
fun over here.
Yeah. He was in The Nice Guys, The Mummy with the Tom Cruise version, and
Okay.
Robin Hood, along with a bunch of other stuff, but everyone already
Yeah.
knows those movies, so
Okay.
you know, I like to
Well,
do
the
the ones
way-
that people.
Okay, see, the way Danny was able to remind me of who Russell Crowe is, because believe it or not, I always am like, wait, who's Russell Crowe? It was Unhinged.
Gladiator.
Yeah.
Unhinged.
Oh, Unhinged. Yeah,
Yeah.
that too. I could have. I mean, I didn't want to do that one because we already have a review of that movie on here. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
if people are listening to our episodes, they already know that one.
and this seems
out
to
there.
be a theme of mine, bringing up the ones that
Yeah,
we
bringing
have
up
an
old
episode on. So go watch it.
Yes, go listen to that episode. That was a good movie, though. I enjoyed that
Yeah.
one. I wasn't in that episode, but you know.
No, we're not.
I thought you were saying I was in that.
I wasn't in that movie.
No,
Man, I
not
thought I
that
would
movie either.
See you in it. Oh yeah, we did that right there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Right there, you're pointing. to that. This one also has stars Alex Esso. She's Julia, and she was in. So I didn't recognize her in this, but she was in 7 episodes. I think the entire season of Midnight Mass.
Oh.
Okay.
4 episodes of Haunting of Bly Manor,
Oh.
and a movie called Starry Eyes, which came out like
yeah.
I think. Yeah, I keep hearing about that movie.
A
I've
few
just
years
never seen
ago.
it.
It's another horror movie, I believe.
Yeah,
Starry
yeah,
Eyes.
it is. I
Yeah.
don't remember her character in Midnight Mass.
What? Okay, wait. This
Yeah.
is the mom.
Julie. Yeah, the mom. She looked
Okay,
familiar.
because
I just
she
didn't
looked
recognize
so
what she looked
familiar. I kept
Yeah.
thinking, what the heck do I know her from?
like.
So
Midnight
I
Mass,
guess
apparently.
I know. I guess I did, but yeah, I
And
can't.
Bly Manor.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just
I
don't-
can't
I just
picture-
can't place who she was.
yeah.
And she was in the entire season. It's like, sorry, you were not a very memorable character.
Yeah.
Or she
Your
was.
face- I
and
mean,
she
her
just
face-
looked different.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could have looked different.
I feel like
Um,
she has just kind of a generic look. So I don't know that she would stand out.
I don't know though.
Mhm.
I disagree. I feel like she looked like almost a little Aaron Brockovich-y.
Okay. Well, Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not
the
like
real one.
full Julia Roberts because
Okay.
like
She doesn't have red hair.
well she kind of did.
Or big lips.
And that was what I was gonna say. She doesn't have the smile, the lips.
Yeah.
But she has she had a little bit of the hair going on.
Yeah.
And Just that, like, I don't know, that look.
Okay.
That's
She
it.
did look familiar. I just when I saw Midnight Mass 7 episodes, I was like, you were definitely like a background character because I don't remember you at all. But anyway, let's go continue from that. We got Daniel Zovato. He's Father Esquivel, the other priest that was with Russell Crowe.
Oh, okay.
He was in It Follows, Don't
Mm.
Breathe, and Lady Bird.
Nice.
2 horror movies we do have reviews on. So
Yeah.
on here.
To
He
that,
was in both. He was in
just
two of
me
them.
and Katrina did.
Yeah.
I did Don't Breathe.
No?
I didn't do the sequel. I don't think, but
Oh,
I thought that I
yeah.
did the first one.
Maybe you did.
Yeah, I don't. It might have. Yeah,
Because that
I
you
know
were on sabbatical.
yeah. I was out for a
What
little
was
while.
that about?
It was under the weather.
Under the weather?
Yeah.
I had COVID for
Oh.
like 3 weeks.
You had the
I had the big C.
disease, huh?
Well, I don't want to say big C because that's a different thing.
Oh, gosh.
I didn't have that. I had a different. Anyway, all right. This was written by Michael Petroni. He did a screenplay. He did 10 episodes of a show called Messiah. It was on Netflix. Chronicles of Narnia, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and Queen of the Damned. The screenplay for.
Okay.
And then we've got Evans Spiliotopoulos. Butchering that name, I'm sure. Spiliotopoulos did the screenplay. He did the screenplay for Pooh's Heffalump movie.
Oh.
All right.
The
That's a good
2017 Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, what?
And yeah. And 2019's Charlie's Angels.
Okay.
Got some big hitters here.
Yeah.
And the next two did also the screenplay. The next two are R. Dean McCreary and Chester Hastings. They both only have Fanboy on their filmography, which I think it was like a short or something like that. And then we've got
Star Wars. It's a movie about like Star Wars fans.
Oh.
the one that they have screenplay for, I think, was in like 2021, and that movie was out like several years ago.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And then we've got, so I don't know the difference in this, but we've got Jeff Katz, who did the screen story, not the screenplay, but the screen story.
Okay.
Because this is based on a book, which is based on a
It's a good book.
Have you read it?
true story. Have you read it? Oh yeah.
Come on, guys.
It's
It's an inside joke for if you've seen the movie.
Only people that have seen this movie would understand. It's a good book. Yeah.
Well, and some people who have seen it won't understand clearly. We're like, oh, you read it?
Yeah, it's a good book. He did it's an animated horror movie comic film called Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash.
All right.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
The comic film.
I remember that was a big discussion during the time when they were trying to figure out what to do with Freddy vs. Jason during the development period, which was a long time. That was like a proposed thing. I didn't know they actually did like an animated.
Yeah, he's got an animated horror movie. Yeah, it's a comic film. I think this one came out just a couple years ago, though. So this isn't. So this wasn't. This it's got to be some like fan made thing or something. Yeah. I'm thinking because I don't think he would have been able to get the rights to Freddy, Jason, and Ash. Like that's,
It sounds like something you have to see, though.
Yeah, that was the issue with bringing all these characters together in Freddy vs. Jason was all the rights and all that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I'll have to check that out.
So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I want to check that out. I don't know where to find it. Maybe YouTube. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's got to be somewhere. He made it. This was directed by Julius Avery. He directed Son of a Gun, Overlord, which are actually a pretty good movie. It's like a zombie movie taking place in World War II. And Samaritan, which just came out last year, I think, with Sylvester Stallone as like a superhero type.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
He's another one. If there's Sylvester Stallone,
You'll see it.
oh yeah,
You'll see it. Well, it's on Amazon. I think it was an Amazon movie. So
okay.
gotta check it out.
All right. Okay, so this one follows Gabrielle Amorth, the Vatican's leading exorcist, as he investigates the possession of a child and uncovers a conspiracy the Vatican had tried to keep secret.
Oh,
I feel like that last part of that description is a spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
It kind of is, because that's not what the trailer showed at all.
No.
Yeah.
And
that was a twist.
Yeah, that was kind of a twist at the end, toward the end. So, okay. Sorry about that, guys, but, I didn't write this. But yeah, that's a pretty important part of the movie that you don't really learn till pretty deep into it. So
yeah. I mean, I guess if you've read the book, and it is a good book.
It is a good.
Then you would already know that that's what you're watching, and maybe the description is assuming that people are seeing this because they've read the book.
Maybe. Yeah. He wrote many books.
He did.
Yeah.
Which, maybe we'll get movies based on at some point in the future.
Yep. That's what we talked about right when we ended the movie.
Right when it was over, I was like, "Oh, they can
it's
make
the new Conjuring series."
Okay, so what were we expecting or thinking going into this one? I'll start. I remember when the trailer came out, I watched it like on YouTube or something, and I was super surprised to see a Russell Crowe possession Exorcist movie. It just did not seem like it really fit. I was excited though, because I was like, okay, he's a really good actor, so this movie must be, at least have good acting, but it's an exorcism possession movie. We've seen a million of those. How different can this one really be? So I was excited to see Russell Crowe in a horror movie, but I didn't know if it was going to really be that great. But I was looking forward to it.
I was not looking forward to it. I saw a little bit of the trailer and did not want to see this movie. I did not like that there was a child possessed. I don't like that. I get uncomfortable with the child stuff.
So you must have hated The Exorcist then.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not a movie that I'm like, hey, let's throw on The Exorcist.
I don't think anybody does that.
Well, you have
it's
asked
not like
to watch it, and I'm like, really? Like, please, never again.
We gotta buy that, by the way.
No, we don't.
Classic.
But I wasn't looking forward to seeing. I really didn't have an idea of what to expect. I expected it to be really scary. I expected it to be really just too real and like The Exorcist. And especially like when Danny said Russell Crowe was in it, then I'm like, oh gosh. This is gonna be really bad. Like, really bad.
You don't like?
Well, bad like good. Like too much, too serious, too scary.
Yeah, he's definitely a
yeah,
serious
I definitely
actor,
went
for
into
sure.
it ready to be just terrified.
All right, Joel, what about you?
So you had text me the trailer for this movie, and
Oh yeah, I didn't even look at it. When you text
I
that.
had never heard of this movie.
Yeah, me either.
And like seeing Russell Crowe, like he's an actor. I'll pretty much always watch movies for. He's always great in everything that he does. Movies may not be great, but he is always he always gives like 100% in like pretty much everything that he does. And so like you were saying before, there's been a million possession movies, exorcism movies that it's not my favorite subgenre. It's not like there's a couple of them that I like. I love the Exorcism of Emily Rose, and that's one of the best. But that's also a courtroom drama. Like that's there's something different going on with that one. So seeing the trailer for this, it felt very much like a run of the mill exorcism movie.
Yeah.
Which we've seen a million times before. So I wasn't too thrilled about it. Plus, some of the CGI was pretty bad from what I remember seeing in the trailer. So I was like, I went into this movie not expecting a whole lot from it. I thought Russell Crowe was going to be great, like he always is in movies. But other than that, it's like there's not a whole lot there.
Yeah.
Different than what we've seen a million times before. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I really, really liked it. Russell Crowe did great. His character was very charismatic, well written, well acted, kind of funny at times. He had this he had this like confidence about him that was just so cool to see, so cool to watch. And the way he would like talk to the possessed people was just so cool. I was like, okay, I like this guy. He's cool.
Yeah.
I like the story. I liked even like because something you have to get right. If you're gonna do this right, then your exorcism possession movie will be pretty good. You have to get the voice of the demon right. It has like The Exorcist. No other movie has done better than that. The voice is so good in that movie. It's so scary. This one I thought was pretty good. It wasn't bad. So I will give it a positive for that. And yeah, I mean, I don't really, I do have a negative, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I just thought overall it had a lot of good scenes with the exorcism. Some stuff I was not expecting to happen, so it had some twists and turns. So while yes, it's an exorcism movie, possession movie, it has some of those just what you expect going into watching a movie like that. But I think it had more to it as well, which was refreshing and kind of put it a little bit above most of the exorcism movies. So, yeah, I liked it. I'll be giving it a pretty good score.
Okay. I also really liked this movie, but for very different reasons, I think.
Oh. Okay.
What I liked about the voice, I think it's okay to say this right now, is it wasn't too I felt like you didn't take it too seriously.
There were a few lines where it was like,
oh well, some of the
what?
lines were like cringy, but I felt like one of the things that is so difficult seeing the kids as the possessed is hearing, and it's funny because you're the one who has pointed this out to me so much, and now it bugs me, is hearing the kids like say these horrible things and like be the ones narrating.
Yeah.
And the voice was not the kid's voice.
It was a very monstrous voice.
Yeah.
Didn't resemble the child at all.
There was only a few times that the child actually spoke.
Yeah.
And and that was like, you know,
Sad,
what is it called?
Cringe, or
like
cringy?
The hair standing up on your neck.
like
you know?
goosebumps.
Yeah. Like that gave you the chills kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I liked that it didn't take itself too seriously.
I think it did.
Oh, it didn't. No, I felt like
Russell Crowe's character definitely was cracking jokes, but I think when the demon is talking and stuff, I don't know that that's supposed to be
not just
funny.
the demon, but like the whole movie. It had some lightheartedness to it.
It did have an interesting tone for Exorcism.
The other stuff that I really liked is I liked when he spoke about God and like religion and actually referenced his faith.
Yeah.
Like I really
do have
liked
a question
the
for you
faith.
guys a little later.
Okay.
About that. And I think we'll have a good discussion.
Yeah. But something that really stood out to me was him saying that God likes humor.
Yeah.
And I was like, awesome. Like, I like that. So it just didn't take itself too seriously. And apparently I really like funny horror movies.
I don't know.
Not
if
that
this isn't supposed to be funny, but
it was fun.
Yeah.
But
it was fun.
It did have an interesting tone. Like it was very serious. A lot of scenes were very serious, but he also had kind of like the comic relief at times with how.
But not just him. Like some of the things were so funny, and I laughed a good amount in this movie.
Well, you were laughing.
The
theater experience was funny too.
Oh my gosh, we'll tell you about that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, when you're laughing at scenes that other people aren't, that's bad writing. Not supposed to be funny.
It's fun writing for me though. It's made me happy to come out of the theater.
Yeah.
So Joel?
Yeah, what'd you think?
Tell us about your thoughts.
I enjoyed it. I liked it. It was Russell Crowe to me was definitely the best part of the movie. His there were definitely scenes in that he was just like acting over everybody else. Like he's, I mean, he is, the probably the biggest actor as far as how many years he's been acting in that entire movie.
Yeah.
But there were scenes that I was actually really impressed with the acting of that scene, and I think I'll get into that in the spoiler section.
Mm-hmm.
It was towards the beginning of the movie. But yeah, I liked the voice. The voice was serviceable for what they were doing in the movie. At times, it kind of sounded like, if you remember, the Conjuring 2, the ghost that went into the little girl. It kind of sounded like that a little bit.
Okay.
The same actor and stuff. I was like, okay, that voice sounds familiar. Like he's been a ghost before.
I do think it sounded like a common possession voice. Like it wasn't something like, oh wow, what'd they do there?
Yeah. I thought the acting of the boy, for the most part, was really good. I looked him up, and this is the only thing he's ever done.
Wow.
So that's impressive because I mean, acting is more than just your voice. It's your body language. It's everything else with that.
Yeah.
So I thought that he did a really good job for a first time role like this. So yeah, I didn't like the daughter very much. I thought she was kind of annoying for most of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't think I liked it as much as you guys did, but I thought it was fun. And I was gonna say something else. I just completely forgot. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Of the two movies that I watched, I didn't like it as much as the other one.
Yep.
But it was still it was still decent. It was still good. I'd see it again. Probably not in theaters, but I'd see it again.
Yeah. See, I'd watch this one with somebody who didn't see it. I'd watch this again in theaters.
Yeah, with someone else, I probably would.
Yeah.
Too.
I don't know. Russell Crowe was just so much fun to see, and the way he approached the demon and the possessed different people he was talking to was just, I don't know. Like when I watch exorcism movies and possession movies, I feel like the Exorcist is always just kind of this generic character.
It's bland and just
they're just there to service the demon is really the star, right? And you just kind of know that they're kind of weak, and I feel like you're like confident in him when he walks in there to talk to the demon or the possessed person. You're like, okay, he's gonna get him, like he's gonna win.
Yeah.
I felt like I was rooting for somebody in this movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like his acting and his character really made you root for him, and how he was talking about his faith and the different things, like when the demon was talking to him and he was talking back at the demon like, nope. You're wrong, I'm good, and it was just
and then he went and thought about what the demon was saying,
and that's where the story was so good.
It really did have a really good story. It had really good, like, I guess when you think about the serious aspect of it,
there's a lot of background stuff with different characters. And
when you think about the movie, I guess it's
but it like it had this overarching theme of forgiving, not just God forgiving you, but you forgiving yourself.
You have to forgive yourself.
I loved that part of it.
I just feel like there was different layers to it. You get to learn about kind of the church a little bit, the Catholic Church, the Vatican, some of the different people there. Learn about the family, the main family. Learn about the exorcist himself. You learn about just a lot. There was a lot in the movie.
Learn about God.
And it's based off a true story, based off of a real person who wrote a bunch of books, and they're all good. And
this one is good.
True story. It goes off the rails for me, true story wise at the end of the movie, but
that is that's my negative for the movie. It gets a little too much
Hollywood
at the end. Throw that.
That's where I think that all I can think about is this comedic. It
got silly
over the top.
It got pretty silly, and the CGI was really bad toward the end. And so it was like, okay, this is too much.
Just funny. It's just
it wasn't funny to me. To me, it was like, oh man, really? Like this? Why'd you have to do this?
I was laughing. And then when oh my god.
I do like the added story to this movie too, because like what you were reading on IMDb, the extra, the second story to this movie. I thought that was really cool. I liked
Yeah.
that there was the deeper. It was much deeper than just an exorcism movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
say
I
that.
liked how
Yeah.
they connected it throughout the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
It was like little piece by piece, and then
yeah,
I feel like
Mhm.
they kind of came to the conclusion kind of quickly.
yeah,
And came to
Mhm.
just kind of wrap that up really fast, which I don't like when
Yeah.
movies do that because it's
Mhm.
unrealistic. But I did like that was part of the movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is he was able to do that because he was like, one, he's like, oh, I noticed this when I first got here, and because he had God on his side,
There you
so
go.
he was just kind of,
Yeah,
oh,
it was
I
connected.
get it.
Yeah,
So you can do that if
that's true.
God's on your side, then
Yeah.
you've got an
Anything
excuse.
can happen.
Yep.
All right. So let's go ahead and grade it. Let's go ahead and grade it, and then I have a question for you guys, and
Okay.
we'll talk about our theater experience.
Oh, yes.
After that, so stay tuned after the grading if you've seen it, or if you just aren't going to see it and want to know more about the movie, because there is a few things to say.
Yeah.
All right, Joel. Let's go with you first. What is your grade, sir?
So the acting was really good. Mostly, Russell Crowe's acting was amazing. Other people were just like, they were good, but they weren't great. Like
I thought
it's hard to
I thought the
compete.
other priest was good.
Yeah, the other priest was good. I
He
did like him.
frustrated me, though.
Oh, really?
But just
thought he was
because, well, it wasn't his acting that
Oh,
frustrated
his story.
me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
His,
And I did like the story. Skeletons in his closet. Yeah.
Not that as much as like just his personality.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know. He just,
Not his story or his acting, but he was just a bad person.
it's annoying.
I like the story for the most part. The story was good. I do want to see more movies in this universe.
Yeah.
With Russell Crowe, he has to return for all of them.
Yeah.
He has to sign.
There's
some
a lot
sort
of stories
deal.
to be told.
Yeah, apparently there are.
Yeah.
129 or something.
199 more stories to be told.
Yeah, and Russell Crowe has to be in all of them.
I don't know if all
Better
of
get
those
on it.
stories.
I don't think they were all him.
Yeah. Well, okay. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we have the answer to this, but we'll talk about it. Okay. Come on, man.
So,
what's your grade?
All right. Okay, I'm going. Jeez.
He's going through the rubric.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even though we
exactly.
haven't written one yet.
We don't have one, but I'm just making one up as I go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in 84 for this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's
So-
higher than I thought you were going to give it with your comments. So,
Well, I mean,
Nice.
I do like it. I thought it was a good movie.
yeah,
Yeah. So
cool.
All right.
What do you got?
I'm not going to give any explanation. I'm giving an 83.
okay.
Okay.
Almost mine. All right.
Yep. I know. That's why I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Joel and I are like right there with each other today.
Yeah. I'm going 89. I liked it a lot. I'd see it again. I'll want to buy it. I'm hoping that there are better performances throughout the year in horror, but I don't know if you're going to be able to beat this one.
Really?
Really?
The
Alright.
act, like as
disagree.
far as
Performance
Russell Crowe.
wise, not movie
Yeah.
As far as
necessarily.
Russell Crowe?
Performance, his performance.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Come on, guys.
Well, I
He
mean,
does-
horror's
I
not
got
supposed
it.
to be like the most amazing acting. That's not
Why
really.
not?
Oh, because that's the whole thing about horror movies is
Hey,
it's pretty
it's
terrible.
a whole
getting better.
package.
It's getting better and better.
Yeah. It's a whole package, and acting is part of that package.
Yeah.
So,
You got Nicolas Cage, you got Russell Crowe.
Yeah, but I don't think people like think of Nicolas Cage as like
A great
Oh my
actor.
gosh!
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's
Academy
he's
Award
villain,
winner
right?
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I mean, he's awesome. I will see anything with him.
Yeah.
But he's like, he's
But it's
Nicolas Cage. He's not
performance.
taken super serious.
So it depends on what you're looking for,
Mhm.
in a performance by an actor. Nicolas Cage has a very specific thing you're looking for with him. You're looking for this wild and crazy and, facial expressions and just kind of weird stuff.
Yeah.
That's not going to win awards or anything, but it's a fun performance to watch.
Apparently, it's won some awards.
Well,
He has.
he has not
He
that
has.
style of acting.
Not
but,
anytime recently, but he has.
Yeah. And then it might have been the right. It was a combination of the writing and the acting for Russell Crowe. But I mean, you look at Mia Goth last year. I mean, she was amazing. And
Yeah,
Pearl,
she's a good
Yeah.
actress.
Yeah.
I feel like horror's getting better and better with acting. I mean, of course, there's some horrible ones out there, but I think the ones that are going to theaters are relatively pretty decent, acting wise.
When you have to say relatively pretty decent, that doesn't sound like.
Well, it's not bad. I'm saying it's not bad.
It is getting better.
It's better.
We're not in the
The 80s.
age of like Friday the 13th where it's like some of the worst acting ever. Like, it is getting better. Sorry, Friday the 13th fans out there, but
it's getting there.
That franchise sucks.
And
man, all right. Anyways,
I can't wait to go through those movies.
I think Russell Crowe, his performance so far is the best of the year. I hope that there's going to be better, but I don't know if there will be. Was the point?
I can agree with that. He did give a really good performance in this movie.
Yeah. All right. So we got 84, 83, 89? Is that what it was?
Yep.
I think
All
so.
the 80s.
All right, so we're going to go into spoilers now. That was a good one. Okay, so
you just scared away our first time watchers.
I know.
Why is she screaming?
Let's talk about, what should we start with? The twist kind of at the end with the church and kind of the cover.
I mean, you already spoiled that, so we can finish spoiling it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of liked that part, as we were saying, and I'm trying to kind of get all of it though. So I know, from what I know, maybe you guys can help me. There was a time when, a dark time for the church, when there was, they were doing some pretty bad stuff. Mm-hmm. And what they came to the conclusion of is that there was a demon that was almost like influencing the church to do these things. Mm-hmm. And then the church or whoever was able to lock this demon down underneath the what was it, like a mansion, castle, or something, whatever it was, in Spain. Mm-hmm. Is that what it was? Is that what you guys got from the whole cover-up thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
From my understanding, yeah.
Because they just came to the conclusion so quick. And I was like, wait, what's happening? Okay, this.
Well, it came to the conclusion quick because they were coming to the conclusion in different areas.
Yeah.
Like, Russell was coming... Yeah, that too. Russell was coming to it, or Gabriel.
Yes.
Gabriel. Was coming... he was coming to the conclusion and explaining it to his,
his sidekick
who knew nothing.
Yeah.
didn't even know a prayer, like, and somehow
Yeah.
was a pope, like,
yeah, he wasn't a
not a
pope.
pope,
Priest.
but
Not a pope. He was a
Sorry,
pope.
Sorry.
One of the popes.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
of the popes. No, he was a priest and
Mm,
didn't even know, like,
Yeah,
yeah.
couldn't even say a full prayer.
yeah.
And then the guy at the church, he was coming to the conclusion at the same
As he was
time
reading through the
when he was reading through the book.
Yeah.
And he was explaining it, or like, I guess we were watching him come to the conclusion, and then the other guy got there.
Other guy got there? What do you mean?
Yeah, that one guy, the evil guy.
The evil
Oh, the other.
The guy who didn't like
the guy that
Gabrielle.
was head of
yeah,
the
yeah.
or on like the council or whatever.
Yeah.
That guy, yeah.
And so I think that it all came to that.
Yeah, it all kind of came
quick.
together then, but it was hard for me to follow, like what they were trying to say. I understood that there was this demon in this underground area, but I was getting a little confused with the, what the demon had done and why it was locked down there, and something about the church and a dark time in the church, and so that it felt a little hard to follow for me.
It seemed like you followed it pretty well.
I guess I did, but it took.
Just thought there was more to it than that.
Took some concentration.
Yeah, took a little extra concentration.
I thought that they did actually a really good job explaining it, though.
Okay. Well, and also, I have a hard time with accents in movies, so he had a pretty thick, like, Italian accent throughout the movie. So it was a little hard for. I think that might have been part of it too. Just keeping up with his dialogue.
Yeah.
So my question, because this takes place in 1987.
Yeah.
And Russell Crowe started. Gabrielle started in 1986. Why him? Why did the demon request him? Because when the other guy went in, he's like, wrong priest.
Yeah.
Send me a priest. And then he's like, wrong priest.
Well,
so it was him he was wanting the entire time.
Yeah. Well, because he wanted him because he was the head, exorcist.
He was the head exorcist.
He wanted to influence him.
That's the
so
thing.
He could take over.
Because he was already someone that had high influence. He needed a priest that had high influence, because the goal of the demon is to take over a priest that has high influence, that then he can get that priest to do his bidding, right?
Yeah.
In the name of the church.
Yeah. In the name of God.
And this priest, one, he was already highly influential. And I mean, if you think about it, the demon knows the priest. He knows his background. He knows all these things about him. So he knows that he's already kind of this almost rebel type.
A little rough around the edges.
Yeah. And so it's not going to be super unbelievable that he starts
when
doing
he gets possessed
these demon things.
These demon things.
I mean, the stuff that the demon
he wants
him to
infiltrate the church. To,
and so they're already not trusting him. They're already, and so I think that they showed that background because it helped to show why the demon would want him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's, and the way that they connected it to, I don't know, like all the history of the Catholic Church, but the way that they connected it to the demon actually did this.
Yeah.
Did cause damage within the church at a certain period. So it worked. And then, they were able to lock it up, and now it's trying to do it in the current, or in the 80s, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of this is actually in the book or, anything like that. But, if is, if any of that is real,
that part is the part that is
I feel like
real.
that's a big part.
I think that's the part. Yeah, that's the
Mhm.
part that is based off true events.
Yeah.
I think that how the demon was defeated and all the
him
like
becoming possessed
crazy
and, like,
stuff
I
happening.
think that part's not.
Yeah, all that
Being
is the part that is
possessed
very
and, like,
Hollywood, very
Yeah.
CGI.
Too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
It went too far.
But
It's like,
yeah,
you guys, you had a grounded story somewhat. I mean, a demon being locked up is not entirely grounded, but for the story that they were saying, it was a pretty grounded story, and then you just go way off the deep end when you're just like, all right.
It's way too much.
One thing that I really liked that they did, like, again, I really liked when they brought in the church stuff. And they were talking about how people these days in the church don't actually believe in the real power of demons. And I think that that's been a back and forth struggle where even, like, if you read the Bible, that it talks about demons, it talks about possession. Judas was possessed,
Right.
and it goes through that.
Right.
And I think that people start to believe it as just like stories, and not that these things actually happen.
Well, I think as time has gone on, and he even said to the church, and one thing I really liked about him, and that he would be open and honest about these things, was that there was a lot of possession that wasn't actually possession.
Yeah.
It was a mental illness, or he needed to confront this demon and tell, like, okay, possess the pig. Like, do it. You can't do it. How come you don't know my name? How come you don't know who I am? Like, he's just like calling them out, and then when they're unable to prove, or if he has pretends like the pig is getting possessed, and they kill the pig, and then it's like, okay, you're free now, and the person just needs to feel like whatever it was ailing them has been released. Not that they're actually possessed by an actual demon. And I think that as time has gone on, that's been the explanation for the behaviors of people who in the past may have been seen to be possessed.
And so then priests stop believing, and the church stops believing that demons actually can exist and actually do exist. And they were even saying, like, there's no need for you anymore. And I think that was really cool that they brought that.
Well, and he was admitting it, like 98% of the the time. There's not a
because
real
it's not like
possession,
demon possessions are common. It's not like even in the Bible, it's never like this common thing.
But apparently during at some period, I mean, this guy did, I don't remember how many exorcisms they said he did, but he did hundreds. So it was like, it was common to believe at some point, maybe not within the church, but people were believing that they were possessed. So
but then it got to a point where people, I feel like it got to a point where people were almost, and still is, almost like desensitized. And I think having these kind of movies, like having Exorcist movies and
well, this was 87.
movies.
The Exorcist was 70 something.
73.
Yeah.
And
early 70s.
It desensitizes people to.
That doesn't desensitize me.
Well,
that
but
I believe it more.
I think that for some people,
I think Linda Blair was possessed during the film.
But I think that for some people, it makes it very Hollywood.
Yeah, it makes it a movie.
Yeah,
a performance,
and not actually a religious thing.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe that'll kind of segue into my big question for you guys. So we'll talk about this movie specifically for the question, but overall, you can think about it as well for all of these types of movies. Would you call this a Christian film?
I've thought about that a lot.
I mean, it has a lot of the Christian religion. It's a good versus evil story. Good triumphs and wins. I feel like it has all the on paper aspects to a Christian film with better acting. and, but it's in the in the format of a horror film. But it has all those pieces that would make it also a Christian film.
I know. I've been thinking about that actually while we were watching it. I was like, "Wow, this is like a legit Christian film."
Yeah.
I'm like,
all the stuff
they're
he was
actually,
saying and stuff.
and they're actually like referencing the Bible, they're referencing real faith.
Yeah, the way he was acting was like, the demons like, I don't remember what he would say. No, he would say like, "God's not here" or whatever, and then the exorcist would say, "God's everywhere."
Yeah,
he's always with me, and he was just so confident about it and so matter of fact.
Well,
it's everywhere.
and he even how he would say, because in most exorcist movies, it's like they're always saying like repeat it, or pray.
Yeah.
But like the way he said it was like with such conviction of like, pray. You need to pray.
Yeah.
And believe it. Believe the prayer you're saying, and he had them choose like what's a prayer that means something to you.
Yeah.
And when's a time that you felt God with you? And like she talks about that guardian angel. I would reach out to that guardian angel. Like I don't know, like it definitely came across as much more faith-based than other exorcist movies.
Yeah, I think this is the only time I've ever thought about this. I feel like this movie is a good example of how it can be considered that. Whereas, maybe some of the other exorcism movies like Exorcism of Emily Rose, well, you can kind of argue that one too, actually.
Well, it's religion versus science in that one. So like they do throw like they do. It's pretty much half and half. Half science, half religion in that movie too. So
I feel like with this one though, you can make the argument.
I definitely oftentimes I feel like part of what made me like feel like no, I'm not seeing this movie is I don't like seeing these possession movies because I don't want to entertain the I don't want to entertain and make light of the of demons, of possession. It's serious. It's a serious, real thing, and it's scary. And like,
well, okay. So,
and
is it a real
I went
thing?
and said,
like I'm not. Of course, there's evil thoughts and evil actions from people, but is it a real thing in the way that it's portrayed in a movie? Like, is it like your voice changes and you can speak in different languages and things that you shouldn't know, like all of that stuff? Is that real?
I don't know how it would be in these days. I feel like it's interesting how like even miracles look different now than they did in like biblical times. Because in biblical times, I mean, they talk about how Judas's voice changed. And they talk about how his appearance changed. Like it comes from somewhere. Huh?
Right.
I wonder what's different though. Like why is it so much different now? Like what like we're humans now just as much as we were back then. Like why is it so different now than it was back then? Why is Like
Right.
you never hear anyone being possessed by a demon these days.
Yeah.
So why? You'd think these days is when people would be possessed the most,
I
because
think there's a good amount of people who are possessed these days.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like, I think that there are evil people and evil
Yeah.
demons and stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't know about people being tied down to a bed and change their voice and knowing things, speaking different languages, all that type of stuff that is in movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think about that, like, where sometimes I think that, like, it's almost like God felt like he had to be, like, overly dramatic during those days. Like, sometimes it's like, man, he was nuts sometimes. Like, the stuff that he does. And, like, especially when you read the Old Testament, it's like, oh my goodness gracious.
Fire and brimstone in that book. It's like nothing.
He just went for it. And I think he got tamed down after Jesus came, but even then, during those times there was still like crazy stuff going on. And now it's like they're not going to write a new Bible. There's not going to be a new Bible.
Bible part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. The newer testament.
Yeah.
The newest.
So it's like now it's just okay, now use those things as the example. I don't need to do it again.
Right. Yeah, I did like in this movie too how they explained what demons are. They're like fallen angels and things like that. So it was like he was like, how do you not believe in this? I mean, we go off of the Bible. This is in the Bible. Why are we not like down with this anymore? And
maybe there's just not as many angels falling.
Well, he had a couple. He did have a couple of allies within the church, which was cool.
Yeah.
But we learn at the end that there was like a map of where all these demons are, and there's 199 more after this one in the movie. So he lived for, I think it was 2016 is when he passed away, I think it said. So he lived for quite a while longer. So I wonder how many of those demons
I think he was like 93 or something when he died.
Yeah.
So he lived for a long time.
Yeah. So I'm hoping we get another one.
Yeah.
I'd like to see another one.
I want at least a trilogy of these movies.
Yeah.
with Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
With Russell Crowe.
You can throw some Nicolas Cage in
Maybe
there.
Nicolas Cage can be in one.
He'll be the demon.
Yeah.
It did well over in theaters. It beat Renfield. It was the number 2 movie of the week.
I will say, driving home, we went with our kids. Maybe not the most appropriate movie to go to with our
They're
kids.
They're teenagers.
But
it felt kind of out of place, like that scene to me for some reason. Like just seeing like bare chests on there, like okay, that's it was kind of random.
Well, I'll tell you that those were things that my kids were like, it was too much. They were not huge fans. They did not like how the demon talked. They didn't want the kid to talk. They didn't want the demon to have a voice.
Yeah. Some of the stuff he said, they were like cracking up laughing.
They were not. They were like, that was so just terrible that they had, like, why'd they have to have him say these things like the breastfeeding thing and like the lines that was like cringy.
You never breastfed me. It was when he first said it, I was like, oh dang, like they're trying to make it kind of crazy, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then you know, they started laughing, and then I started to think back to when I was a teenager, and if I would have heard something like that in a movie, I would have thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. They
very hard to take seriously.
In the car, they were like, that was one of their negatives for sure.
Yeah.
So I thought I better throw that out there as some people that's their negatives.
Yeah.
But we have to tell our theater experience.
Yeah.
Before we finish up.
Okay.
So this movie was pretty crowded, and we went pretty late at night. Not super late, but it was later.
Yeah.
And when we were in the theater, there was this guy there who had the worst cough. And at times I didn't notice it, but the kids were telling me that like he wasn't just coughing, he would like start with a sneeze and then just cough like this huge,
it was kind of like this in between sneeze cough, like,
and it was this huge like dad cough, like like I don't know, I can't even do it.
Wow.
But it was huge.
You didn't notice that?
No, I just didn't notice the like sneeze.
Yeah.
But the cough, oh my gosh. And at one point, Russell Crowe coughs or does something.
He's like kind of choking or something.
Yeah, choking up on something. And then this guy in the back just starts coughing, and I'm just cracking up like every time. Oh my gosh, this was.
It's like, well, Russell Crowe's doing it, so I can too.
Yeah, he was coughing all throughout the movie.
Yeah,
and then
it was like every 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then there were people in the background like saying like, "Could you turn off your phone, please?" And then there was like people. Yeah. There were so many.
Well, nobody should have the phone on. Like,
yeah,
I'm okay with that one.
So much talking. So many noises, people dropping things in the theater. I'm like, what is happening back there? It was so distracting and just, I mean, I guess that was part of why I thought this was so funny.
Yeah, it was a weird kind of experience for the it was I was like, man, this guy's more possessed than.
Oh my gosh! It was always at like the worst times.
It was at really interesting points of the movie.
Yeah,
that's loud coughing.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
and it wasn't even like he was trying to be quiet about it.
No,
he was just full on.
Yeah, it was letting it out.
I'm letting it out.
That's really annoying. Don't go to a theater if you're gonna. Do that kind of thing. Like,
it was pretty crazy.
I was like, someone get this guy a drink.
It was either
seriously.
Yeah, it was either like really frustrated about it or just laugh.
Yeah, it was just funny, really.
I mean, well, my son was pretty frustrated. I heard him like under his breath being like, "Take a cough drop." Get a cough drop, man. And then he just decided to go to sleep.
Yeah,
like he went to sleep, fell asleep.
Yeah, he did not want to see the movie. No. He did not want to come. He was very.
You're talking about? Okay, I thought you were talking about the guy that was coughing.
No.
I was like, he just went to sleep.
Oh, okay. He continued to cough and cough and cough throughout the whole entire movie. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was our experience. Anything else to add?
No, I don't think so. I think that was it.
All right. This has been Scare Talk.
Wow. All right.
That was it for the theater experience. Joel.
Man.
Joel. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Not really.
Okay. This is
all right. Well, we all pretty much liked it. I liked it the most. I think this is going to be in my top 10 for the year.
Yeah, it's going to be the best movie.
Performance.
Best
acted.
Yes. Come on. Unless we do get Maxine, I could see Mia Goth
Oh yeah,
taking that. But
yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna get that this year. We'll see.
I think Five Nights is gonna get it. Five Nights at Freddy's is gonna get
yeah, Matthew
best
Lillard, man.
best performance of the year.
Yeah, Freddy. He's gonna.
I am looking forward to that movie, but.
Okay.
All right, this has been Scare Talk.
All right.
Sleep tight.
Don't let Gabrielle.
Don't let
You do that so
Bite.
perfect.